Thanks, Dan. Very good evening to you, wherever and however you're listening to Talk Sport 2. Well, they weren't fancied to be in the promotion shake-up at the business end of the championship season, but Huddersfield Town fans will remember that being the case when David Wagner's Terriers won promotion via the playoffs in 2017. For Wagner, read Carlos Corberan in this campaign. His squad have been in the top half since late August and start tonight in 6th spot. Stoke arrive in West Yorkshire 6 points behind their host, having lost 6 of their last 9, as Michael O'Neill seeks that correct balance and blend to get the Potters back up to the playoff places that Huddersfield currently occupy. In terms of team news, one change for Huddersfield from the dramatic 4-3 win at Reading, as Ollie Turton replaces Pippa in defence. Otherwise, it's as you were. Lee Nichols is the Huddersfield keeper. Ollie Turton, Matty Pearson and Tom Lees in the back 3. Sorba Thomas, Jonathan Hogg, Lewis O'Brien and Harry Toffolo are 4 across midfield, with Daniel Sinani and Josh Coromer in behind. Hat-trick man from the Select Car Leasing Stadium, Danny Ward up front. After back-to-back defeats to Fulham and Coventry, Stoke makes 6 changes for tonight's match. Jordan Thompson returns from injury to midfield, and Ben Wilmot is also back. Recalls as well for Campbell, Fletcher and Branchich, plus a first start for the young Villalonene, Jaden Philogene Billis. Jack Bonham is the Stoke keeper. Ben Wilmot, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, Phil Jagielka and Josh Simon in the back 4. Mario Branchich, Lewis Baker and Jordan Thompson are 3 in midfield. Tyrese Campbell, Stephen Fletcher and Jaden Philogene Billis in a front 3. And on the bench for Huddersfield, Bilakapic, Rhodes, Ruffles, High, Holmes, Sarr and Russell. For Stoke, Fielding, Smith, Tommy Smith, former Huddersfield player, Joe Allen, Clucas, Brown, Powell, who we were just talking about with Dan, who is back fit again after that leg injury, and DiMarzio Wright-Phillips, who just signed a new extension to his contract after scoring his first goal for the club in the game against Fulham a week ago. Ready for the off then on Talk Sport 2 to start your weekend of live football off across our network. And Stoke in their change strip of green shirts and socks with black shorts. They'll be attacking the fantastic media stand away to our left. We're in the main stand, the core stand, as it's known here at the John Smith Stadium. Stoke fans and Huddersfield fans both away to our right in the away section, the Magic Rock Brewing stand here at this very characteristic stadium with its arching roofs on all 4 stands here in West Yorkshire. Underway then with Huddersfield in their traditional blue and white striped shirts, white shorts and black socks. They're defending that fantastic media stand away to our left, and the ball's with Taylor Harwood-Bellis, the Manchester City loanee at Stoke. Ball's played through to Lewis Baker, who can collect the ball in front of the back 3, and he will look for Phil Jagielka, who puts a long ball downfield looking for Stephen Fletcher, but that's come to be dealt with by Tom Lees. And it's clipped down the right-hand side by Ben Wilmot, playing in a slightly unfamiliar right-back position. Tonight ball's out of play for a Stoke City throw just shy of the halfway line. A minute gone, it's 0-0, and a very good evening to George Boyd who's alongside us tonight.
Good evening.
Well, it's a 4-3-3 for Stoke. They're changing things around. They're trying to find that balance and blend. 6 changes sounds an awful lot between league games. You normally see that many changes between the league and the cup game. Yeah,
there's a lot of freshness in there. You can see straight away Baker's coming short between the back 4, trying to get on the ball, trying to make things happen, and obviously Fletcher up through the middle, a few long balls up to him to start with, but it's a good start for Stoke.
Just trying to get Stephen Fletcher away down the right-hand side, but he was well marshalled by Tom Lees. Good travelling contingent from Stoke that you can hear away to our right-hand side. About best part of 2,000 travel up from the Potteries for this one. And Huddersfield in possession with Matty Pearson. Just clips the ball to his right for Ollie Turton, once of Blackpool. Plays the ball into the feet of Daniel Sinani. Got a couple of goals lately. Lovely little back heel to take Philogene Billis out of the game. And Matty Pearson looks up and clips the ball up to the halfway line, looking for Danny Ward. But Harwood-Bellis got there in front of him, and Philogene Billis does well, lays the ball off to Lewis Baker, captaining the Stoke side tonight in the centre circle. Played out wide by Ben Wilmot to the right-hand side. Now Taylor Harwood-Bellis has it back again, immediately closed down by Sinani. Sorba Thomas then comes in to close down Josh Timon down the left-hand side. Tried to hit it down the left-hand side, but it would drift out of play for a Huddersfield throw-in. 0-0 with nearly 2 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. Huddersfield lost just 4 games since the end of September and lost only 3 of their 13 matches here, George. Good record.
Yeah, you need a strong home form if you're going to be in and around that playoffs and top 2, and they just look like a team who are really together. Not the biggest squad in the league, but you've got players off the bench like Jordan Rhodes who are really good at this level and proven, so they've got players who can come on and affect games.
Lee Nichols in all cerise pink for Huddersfield, their goalkeeper tonight, finds Pearson once again, clips out to this near side of Huddersfield right, and Turton, the ball ricochets away from him, but it's picked up in midfield by Jonathan Hogg, and then Lewis O'Brien, who's come through the ranks at Huddersfield, such a promising young midfield player. Now, good run down the left-hand side for Huddersfield, clips into the box. Danny Ward flashes a header over the bar. Puts his hands on top of his head. He probably feels he should have got that on target. He's in great form.
Yeah,
first chance of the game goes Huddersfield's way, 0-0.
Great wing play from Koroma. He's used his pace. He's left in for dead down the left wing. Great cross, and he's done really well there, Danny Ward. He's got in front of the defender and just glanced the header over.
Hat-trick. Last time out at the Select Car Leasing Stadium for Danny Ward. And Huddersfield have won the ball high up the pitch. It's Koroma working the ball back into midfield. Hogg goes in for a 50-50 challenge with Philogene Biddis. Lewis O'Brien picks up the loose stuff, and then he's absolutely cleaned out in midfield there. And an early yellow card goes the way of Jordan Thompson for what was a fairly agricultural challenge there, George Paul.
It looked like one of those frustrated ones. There was a few 50-50s that were scrapping around there, and it's a poor challenge. He deserves the yellow card, and it's a good opportunity for Huddersfield to get the ball in the box.
It's right in the middle of the Stoke City half, just to our right-hand side. Our commentary position pretty much bang on halfway here at the John Smiths. And it's going to be Daniel Sinani to measure a left-footed ball into the box. Most of the Huddersfield players have gone to the far side, to the left-hand corner of the box. Our referee tonight, incidentally, is Gavin Ward from Surrey, just making sure that there's no pushing and shoving or shirt pulling at the edge of the penalty area. Tsunami there, standing over this free kick with 5 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. Clips it into the area, but it's straight through on the bounce to Jack Bonham, the Stoke goalkeeper. Very easy for him. Too firm and too straight, that free kick.
Yeah, I mean, the manager will be fuming. It's so frustrating, right down the middle, easy for the goalie. You want to put him under pressure there, and it was a really good position just outside the area, but easy for the goalie.
Huddersfield 0, Stoke 0 on TalkSport 2 in the EFL this Friday evening. Number 2 more live championship fixtures tomorrow on our network. Fulham are at home to Blackpool at 3 o'clock, and then George's old side Peterborough against Sheffield United at 5:30. Josh Koroma away for Huddersfield again down the left-hand side. We're going to take on Warmont, who's backpedaling. Gets to the left-hand corner of the box. He's still got it, Koroma, and then he runs into the defender. And actually, the defender does well, hits it against Koroma, and it goes behind for a Stoke goal kick, 0-0.
He's giving Warmont a great test in the early doors, first 5-10 minutes. Every time he's getting the ball, he's using his pace. He's really direct, and if this carries on, he's going to get an assist or a goal down there. He's playing really well.
Yeah, Josh Koroma, very talented young man, playing down almost the left wing really. He's not that far in from the touchline when he's got possession. Scored 8 goals last season after his move from Leyton Orient in 2019 to West Yorkshire. Balls out of play. Stoke haven't really got going here, George Boyd, have they?
No, they had a few early balls up to Fletcher who held it out, but since then it's been all Huddersfield. It's down that left-hand side. They're getting it to Koroma every time, and he's causing carnage at the minute.
Balls back with Matty Pearson, one of the 3 Huddersfield centre-halves, just shy of the centre circle. Hits a diagonal ball out left, looking for Koroma once again. He's slightly overhit it. Koroma tried to head it back in play, but it skimmed off the top of his head and out of play for Ben Wilmot to take a throw.
I mean, they've definitely seen that as a weakness, haven't they? Every time it's out to the left. I don't know if because Wilmot's not played a lot recently, they're going out to the left-hand side every time.
He was out since the 3rd of January after he scored at Preston. He's at his first goal of the season, but yeah, he's been out since then, and he's not a right back by trade. He's a centre half, so yeah, clearly that's where Carlos Corberan has thought, okay, go on Josh, go and do your work. We'll see how that develops. Jagielka for Stoke clips the ball up to halfway, but come to be dealt with by Lewis O'Brien. Ward, centre of the Stoke half, tries to spin away from a couple of challenges. Lovely skill from Ward, just slips as he tried to shoot, claimed he was fouled. Nothing doing, says the referee. Stoke trying to counter, but Sorba Thomas really strongly in on Mario Vrancic to stop Vrancic getting to halfway. 0-0.
That's brilliant, and that's the press that we were talking about. 3 players around one straight away, lose the ball and they've won it back. That's brilliant intensity.
That's George Boyd, you can hear alongside me, Ian Dancer, making his TalkSport debut tonight. Former Peterborough and Hull midfielder. Joining us for this Friday night championship action. 0-0 between Huddersfield and Stoke. We played 8 minutes. Lewis O'Brien looks for Corrimer, seeing a lot of the ball early on. O'Brien's continued his run, gets beyond him to the edge of the area, tries a left-footed drive and it's straight into the chest of Jack Bonham, stood inside his 6-yard box. But it's all Huddersfield in these early stages, 0-0.
It's hard to pick him up at the minute because he's staying wide on one occasion, and he's just done a lovely little pocket there in between the midfield and the defence, and played a lovely ball to O'Brien, who's got a good shot off, but easy save in the end.
Jack Bonham of Gillingham clears from hands from the edge of his own penalty area, looking for Fletcher, headed up in the air by Lees. He might drop for Lewis O'Brien, tidies up midway point of his own half and guides the ball back to Nichols. He's closed down by Fletcher, but very calmly passes out to Tom Lees, and he rolls it up to Ward. Just turn around the corner for Toffolo. Neat 1- and 2-touch football here from Huddersfield Town, George Boyd.
Yeah, there's a lot of confidence, you can see it, can't you? They're on a team on a good run, unbeaten in 9, but just the way they're passing it, they're fizzing at each other. There's lots of movement. It's a totally different contrast to what Stoke are doing at the minute.
Now Sorba Thomas, one of the most confident players in the EFL this season, having arrived here from Boreham Wood. He's now winning Welsh caps aplenty. Such has his development been with the Terriers, and he receives the throw from Turton, and it's sent back by Pearson to his keeper Lee Nichols. Nichols will take a touch. Turton's calling for it back on this near touchline, and it's floated very neatly out to him. Looks for the halfway line for Sinani, but he runs into Harwood Bellis, his opposite number 24, and the ball just drifts out of play, and Carlos Corberan picks up the loose ball and hands it to the Stoke left back Josh Tyman, who can restart play. 10 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. Huddersfield starting the night in 6th. 0-0 with Stoke City, who are 6 points behind the Terriers at the start of play. They did have a great purple patch of wins in November, Stoke City, but it's gone to pot a little since then. Here's Turton for Huddersfield, clipping the ball up to the right-hand side of the area. Thomas had Harwood Bellis at his back, who did well actually, but then Timon couldn't get the ball under control, and across came Matty Pearson with a no-nonsense clearance out of play. Sorry, Jonathan Hogg, forgive me, for a clearance out of play for a Stoke City throw at 0-0.
That was good defending there when he stood up well. He could have gone all over him, but he's got his foot around it. It was really good defending.
Throw in for Timon, and Vrancic just tries to turn in field from Hogg, but he sticks his foot in again. The former Watford man, been here quite some time, Jonathan Hogg, when you think about it. And it's 8th season here. He was Player of the Year last year, was Jonathan Hogg. Been here since 2013, former Aston Villa youth. Here is an Aston Villa youth, Jaden Philogene-Biddus, winning a throw for Stoke as they get the ball inside the Huddersfield half for the first time in what seems like quite a while in these opening 11 and a half minutes. Timon with a throw into the feet of Vrancic, has to send the ball back into his own half for Harwood Bellis. Now Jagielka clips the ball to his right for Wilmot, who's immediately faced up by Corrimer, and then, well, down on that right-hand side went Tyrese Campbell, who's barely had a kick so far, Tyrese Campbell, in these opening minutes, and he's won a throw. 0-0. Wilmot's going to take it. Campbell showing down the right-hand side, but the ball's gone infield to Mario Vrancic. Now Stephen Fletcher wins the header against Tom Lees. The ball bouncing out to the Stoke right, but Campbell can't get a piece of it. Now he will, because he's just in behind Toffolo for a moment and makes tracks down the Stoke right. Tyrese Campbell gets to the right-hand corner of the penalty area. Vrancic gives it back to him. Still there. Now he's got Wilmot on the overlap if he wants to use him, but he goes back in field to Lewis Baker. Baker clips the ball into the box, looking for Fletcher, headed away by Pearson. but it drops for Stoke again who win the second ball. Josh Tyman on the left-hand side, closest to us, plays a 1-2 with Vrancic, good foot in from Jonathan Hogg to stop Stoke getting any further forward, and now Sorba Thomas making tracks into the Stoke half, down the Huddersfield right, early ball up to the edge of the area, comfortably dealt with by Harwood Bellis. Half-hearted claims for a penalty kick for handball, but Stoke can't clear it up to the halfway line. Huddersfield have it back again. And a foul given for a little nibble that Philogene Bidders had at Ollie Turton as he tried to play a 1-2. So a free kick to Huddersfield Town, 0-0 on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, it's a sloppy challenge there. Just stay on your feet. He's tried to nick the ball, but just caught the man. But another promising position here for a free kick. Stoke just can't get a hold of the ball at the minute. They need to get 2 or 3 passes together, just calm everyone down. Baker started getting on the ball early doors, but he's just not been able to have a touch since.
No, now he's back helping the defenders out at the edge of the penalty area. It's about 5 or 6 yards in from this near touchline on the Huddersfield right as they attack the away end in this first half, the Magic Rock Brewing Stand as it's now known. Sinani and Thomas stood over it. Stoke holding a pretty high line up to the edge of the D as Thomas dummies to take the free kick in, and Sinani sends it in left-footed. Lovely delivery, headed out by Harwood Bellis. Comes out to Lewis O'Brien, lays it off to Corrimer. Corrimer tries a drive, but he was running out of room and Campbell was closing him down, and it just goes harmlessly over the crossbar for a Stoke goal kick. 14 gone on TalkSport 2, it's 0-0.
Yeah, that was a wonderful ball in there from Sinani. He was just inviting someone to head it in, but the great clearance, and both got in each other's way a bit, didn't they, on the edge of the area, and it's just Corrimer's just put it over.
You're listening to Huddersfield 0, Stoke City 0 in the EFL Championship, live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more. Ian Danter and George Boyd with you in West Yorkshire, the home of Huddersfield Town, as Bonham clears downfield for Stoke. Over the head of Fletcher, but Campbell's onto it in a flash at the edge of the box, and now Philogene Bidders picks it up, tries to get a drive away from the edge of the penalty area. It's blocked at source, and Thomas comes away. There's a Stoke player down hurt, clutching his side inside the Huddersfield half of the field, but that was just a direct ball downfield from Stoke. It might have missed out Stephen Fletcher, George Boyd, but it nearly got Tyrese Campbell in on goal.
Well, it looks like their best avenue of getting in behind this Huddersfield defence at the minute. A long ball up, and Campbell's got in 2 or 3 times now in behind Toffolo, and it just couldn't get his shot off in the end, and it was good defending, but it seems a good avenue of getting in behind Huddersfield at the minute, because they can't really put 2 or 3 passes together, and this looks their only way of getting in at the minute.
It's Fletcher who's down hurt, incidentally. He's sitting up though, just was clutching his side.
Yeah.
I think as he lost that header when the ball sailed over his head, I think he just got clattered into
on his shoulder.
Meanwhile, a few players come to this near side to get some instructions from their respective coaching staff. Gives me a chance to remind you that Game Day Live returns tomorrow from 1 o'clock on TalkSport with Adrian Durham, Ray Parler, Scott Minto, Lucy Ward and Mickey Gray. Adrian's going to be hosting from the League One clash at the Unibowl, Bolton against Sunderland. Whilst here on TalkSport 2, got a championship double bill for you. Fulham Blackpool is at 3 o'clock with Jim Proudfoot and Scott Minto. And then you've got Peterborough Sheffield United. That's the 5:30 game on TalkSport at tea time. I'm going to be at Prenton Park tomorrow with about 10,000 fans expected for the top 2 in League 2, Tranmere against Forest Green. I'll be updating TalkSport listeners on that during the course of Game Day Live tomorrow. That promises to be quite a match. 0-0 here with 16 and a half minutes gone. Huddersfield have had the better of it without question in this opening quarter of an hour. And a couple of efforts on goal. Flash header from Danny Ward over the bar, and a Lewis O'Brien drive that was straight at Jack Bonham. And Huddersfield have a throw out on the far side in front of the Chadwick Lawrence stand opposite our commentary position. Toffolo throws it in to Danny Ward, turns it neatly around the corner down the left channel for Corrimer. He plays a lovely ball infield for Toffolo, but then his ball down the left-hand channel doesn't find a blue and white striped shirt. But my, how quickly they try and win it back once they've been dispossessed, and they have it back. O'Brien just down the left-hand side. He's dispossessed though by Vrancic, who then gets pulled to the floor by Corrimer. Stoke have a free kick, and Vrancic wants a yellow card for the offence that was against him, but he just gets a warning there. does Josh Korimer. Was that a yellow card for you, George?
I think it's one of those professional fouls, isn't it? It's definitely a yellow card. He's deliberately pulled him back, but that press again from Huddersfield to win the ball back, it really is a joy to watch when they do it properly.
Free kick for Stoke, sent into the Huddersfield half. Bounces onto the left-hand side where Josh Tymon protects the ball well from Thomas, and the ball's back with Harwood-Bellis inside his own half. Has to go back to Bonham in the Stoke goal. Just takes the touch and rolls it out. This time to Jordan Thompson, split the two centre halves. Now Harwood-Bellis looks to play it down the left-hand side. It's staying in play, tight to this near touchline. Fletcher's trying to give chase to put Pearson under pressure. He's got the better of him. Good work, Stephen Fletcher. Finds Philogene Billis, left-hand corner of the penalty area. Faced up by Ollie Turton. Tries to go beyond him to the byline. He's kept hold of it. Philogene Billis rolls it back to Vrancic, and the drive is tipped over by Lee Nichols for a Stoke corner. Suddenly from nowhere, Stoke create a great chance and they have a corner kick out of it, 0-0.
You can never understand why defenders do that. Just clear it. He's tried to shield it out. Fletcher's done really well. Played it to Philogene Billis, and he's very right-footed, isn't he? He wants to get that shot off on his right foot. He's twisted and turned. He's laid off, and it was a great shot and a very good save straight at him. But he did it really well there.
I don't think Lee Nichols was expecting Vrancic to take it first time, because it was an awkward body position that Vrancic had, but did extremely well to get the shot away. Corner kick for Stoke City to be taken by Vrancic, deep to the far post, nodded down and out. I think it was Harwood-Bellis who got the head on it, but it was only skimming off the side of his head and behind for a Huddersfield goal kick. 0-0 it stays. Stoke erratic since those 3 straight wins I mentioned in November, without conceding against Blackpool, Luton and your old club Peterborough, George, and then losing 6 out the last 9. Stoke were thought of to be one of those that would be definitely in the playoff mix. Now they've got some defending to do. Desperate defending from Jagielka. Was he caught by Korimer? He was, and Jagielka, in fact Jagielka is going to be spoken to by the referee, because they both came together there. Harwood-Bellis is also complaining that he was caught. What do you make of that, George Boyd?
I think it was a 50-50, and I can't really see a lot wrong with it, to be honest. But the players are obviously seeing something that they're not happy with. The rest having a talk with them both at the minute. I don't think anyone's in trouble.
It looked like a flashpoint for a moment.
Yeah,
it's been diffused by the referee.
It was a great tackle, whoever it was.
Well, Korimer got down the right hand side. Harwood-Bellis just came across, got the ball first. But
I tell you what, it'd be sent off. If I was there, he's caught him on the knee.
So Korimer,
very lucky boy,
with a follow through. I mean, he's already walking the tightrope of a yellow card.
He should have been booked before that, yeah.
Stays 0-0. Here is Korimer on the ball, plays it out to the left-hand side, and Toffolo. Now Lewis O'Brien. Remember, this is a VAR-free zone.
Well, I mean, in the Premier League, he's off there, isn't he? He's caught him right on the knee with his studs.
But in the EFL, there is no review of challenges like that. So Josh Korimer,
he's a lucky boy,
has got away with one. And it stays 0-0 with 21 minutes gone on TalkSport 2. The challenge from Harwood-Bellis was strong, and Korimer running in, but his right foot is really, and catches Harwood-Bellis right on the knee.
He could have broke his leg there. That's terrible.
Because it is his standing foot that he's caught as well. It's not a trailing leg that Korimer's caught. It's the foot that Harwood-Bellis has used to clear the ball out of play, and it was pretty much planted on the deck.
And if you see Harwood-Bellis' foot, his leg's straight as well, so he's lucky he's not broke his leg there.
Stays 0-0. Stoke City aggrieved with the lack of action taken by Gavin Ward on that challenge. Wonder whether that fires them up. They've already had a decent chance in the last 2-3 minutes with that snapshot from Vrancic. Here is Harwood-Bellis, who appears none the worse for the wear for that challenge, thankfully. Playing the ball up to Wilmot, the right back tonight. Jagielka gives the ball back to Jack Bonham. Bonham just takes the ball outside of his penalty area and clears it downfield before Sinani can get to him, but comfortably headed clear by Lees. In steps Jagielka, trying to play the ball over the top to get Campbell in behind once again. but the blue and white striped shirts have won possession. Coromer, left-hand side, up against Wilmot this time. He's got Toffolo on the overlap. He's using him. Toffolo to the byline, puts a cross in. It's deflected up in the air and headed behind by Harwood Bellis for a Huddersfield corner at the away end. 0-0 halfway through the first half.
He's done definitely there, Coromer. He sort of brought in the full-back and waited for Toffolo to overlap, and he's just played it in behind. Great cross to the back post, and it's another corner, but he's showing really different aspects of his game today, isn't he, Coromer?
Yeah, the good and the bad. So a corner kick to be taken by Josh Coromer. It's actually Sorba Thomas to take it, right-hand side. Looking for Coromer at the far post, but it's headed away by Harwood Bellis. Comes out to the left-hand side where O'Brien tries to send it back into the area. Stoke will clear it. It'll bounce just on the halfway line, and Turton under pressure from Campbell, who is bearing down on him. He manages to hook it back well, Turton, to his keeper Lee Nichols, who then clears it downfield looking for Thomas to flick the ball on. But Timon headed out of play instead for a Huddersfield throw. Thomas straight onto the throw and drives the ball across to the far side, chested down by Coromer inside the box, tries to get the drive away. It's blocked by Wilmot. Coromer goes out to retrieve it 30 yards out. Now he's faced up by Lewis Baker. Rolling his foot on the ball. Infield it goes to Sinani. And then Hogg tried to clip it out for Toffolo left-hand side, but got away from Harry Toffolo. And it's up to halfway, but it trickles under the boot of Stephen Fletcher. Is there an argument to say that Gavin Ward should have seen that challenge and wouldn't need VAR to decide what to do in that position, George Boyd?
I think he's pretty close to see it, isn't he? I just think it's a terrible challenge. Someone's got to see it, and I didn't see it from all the way over here, but obviously the reaction of the players tells everything for me.
Well, until we saw the replay, we didn't know how bad a challenge it was. We've got our replay monitors here on this near side of the stadium, but the challenge took place on the far side. But once you saw the first replay, it's a proper sharp intake of breath, wasn't it, George?
Yeah, it was terrible.
But Coromer stays on,
and he's been the best player so far, which says it all.
0-0 on TalkSport 2, 24 minutes gone at the John Smiths, and Huddersfield have a throw just shy of the halfway line, which Toffolo will take. Lewis O'Brien trying to jink away from Tyrese Campbell, but the throw goes backwards of square to Matty Pearson, once of Luton Town, of course. Stocky, strong-looking central defender, plays a diagonal ball looking for Coromer, but Wilmot's got a bit more the measure of Coromer now, but he's now got Lewis O'Brien out there to assist him. Coromer on the Huddersfield left, good ball in field, picked up by Sinani, rolls it through, trying to find Ward inside the area, but that was tidied up by Harwood Bellis. Bonham with a clearance that he tried to improvise because he was running out of room and nearly passed it straight to Sorba Thomas. Now Philogene Pittis is dispossessed by Turton. Sinani, right-hand side, bit of a loose pass for Thomas, but Philogene Pittis couldn't keep it in play. Throw to Huddersfield.
It's the press again. They're not giving Stoke any time whatsoever. Every time they lose the ball in the final third, they've got it back within 2-3 seconds, which obviously they work on all the time in training. It's great to see.
Lewis O'Brien going through the gears really neatly, goes out to the left-hand side. Coromer again, faced up by Wilmot, checks onto his right foot, finds Lewis O'Brien 25 yards out, rolls it back into the centre of the half for Turton. It's now spread wide right to Sorba Thomas, right-hand corner of the box, left-footed ball into the area, looking for Ward, headed away by Gielka. O'Brien onto the loose ball first. It's Coromer, gets a shot away, it's in, deflection, and the man who's been at the centre of the controversy in this first half gets the opening goal for Huddersfield Town. Josh Coromer, the shot deflected at the edge of the area, looping over a helpless Jack Bonham, and the Terriers lead to try and consolidate their place in the playoffs. It's Huddersfield 1, Stoke 0.
This has been coming. He's been a danger man since the first minute. It's great play again. One-on-one with the defender. He can go inside, he can go outside, and he's curled it in, slight deflection into the goal. Fully deserved, but should he be on the pitch in the first place?
Fourth goal of the season, Josh Coromer.
It's a wicked deflection has taken it over the goalie.
Well, now Stoke City They don't want 3 straight defeats in the Championship. Branchit's trying to do something about it. Cross into the box. Turn goal was by Campbell. Was he caught as he tried to get the shot away? Gavin Ward's having a look and says nothing doing. Branchit's herring towards the referee saying, why haven't you given that as a penalty? Campbell, well, it looks like it was called there. That's a penalty kick. Goodness me.
That's clear as day. He's got the ball and he's literally wiped him out. It's a blatant penalty there.
But Campbell wasn't really appealing half as much as Branchit was, who'd put the ball in from the dead ball line.
It's a great reaction from Stoke, obviously conceding the goal, and they've gone up the other end. It should be a penalty. Branchit obviously saw it close. He knew it was a penalty.
Well, Gavin Ward has now missed what should be a straight red card, and he's missed a nailed-on penalty kick.
And he's close to the play there. He should see that.
Penny for the thoughts of Michael O'Neill right now. Sorba Thomas trying to get away down the right-hand side, but Jagielka steps in front of him, works the ball back to Bonham, who clears the ball right-footed, looking for Fletcher. Tried to get the flick on, but it will drop down for Tom Lees. Oh, lovely ball. Just rolled into the feet of Lewis O'Brien, who's got lovely balance. Just turns away from his man and moves into the Stoke half, and then it's put out of play for a throw-in. Good to watch Lewis O'Brien, isn't he?
Yeah, he sort of glides with the ball, don't he? Him and Hogg are so important in the middle of the park there. They make everything tick. They're just giving the ball to the wide men and breaking up play when they need to. They're big for Huddersfield. They have been all season.
Well, Stoke City fans listening to this on TalkSport 2 tonight, you can feel aggrieved on a couple of points, really, that you're not playing against 10 men, because if that had been a Stoke player doing that in front of Huddersfield fans, they'd have been howling for a straight red, and what looks to us from the replays that we've seen to be the original Stonewall penalty kick not given for a foul on Tyrese Campbell just after Huddersfield took the lead through that goal from Josh Corriman, the man who was at the centre of that high challenge controversy against Taylor Harwood-Bellis, who's in possession now for Stoke City, just to our right. Simon, the left back, rolls the ball into the feet of Philogene Biddis, who's immediately dispossessed by Turton. They turn the ball over well again, Huddersfield. O'Brien gliding past Baker, clips the ball out to the right-hand side for Sorba Thomas. Thomas has got Turton calling for it. Can he put it into the area? Has to take a touch onto his left. Finds O'Brien once again trying to wriggle away from the challenge, and he finds Danny Ward, who gets a shot away from the edge of the D, but it's a comfortable save. It's straight at Jack Bonham. Half an hour gone, Huddersfield 1, Stoke 0 on TalkSport 2.
They're really full of confidence, Huddersfield, aren't they? The flicks from Thomas, he's enjoying himself out there. Ward wants to get shots out. He's a striker who's obviously on the back of a hat-trick. He wants to get shots at goals. He wants more, and it's just all Huddersfield at the minute.
Well, Taylor Harwood-Bellis clips the ball up to Philogene Biddis on his first start. It's a proper pressure cooker atmosphere he's got himself into, the young Villalone. He's won a throw, though, in fairness to him, on this near touch line, and he will allow Josh Tyman to take it. Don't forget the cricket resumes tomorrow night exclusively on TalkSport 2 from 7 o'clock. Game 4 of the 5-game series between West Indies and England in the T20. 2-1 to the West Indies. Make sure you're with Steve Harmison, Barry Wilkinson, Gareth Batty and Andrew McKenna for exclusive ball-by-ball commentary Saturday and indeed Sunday for the decider, because of course it's going to go to a decider because England are going to win tomorrow night. Exclusive coverage of that T20 series only on TalkSport 2. Make sure you got the app downloaded so you can take TalkSport 2 wherever you go, as well as TalkSport. It's easy to swipe between the stations. Oh, well won by Philogene Biddis. He's got away from Matty Pearson, gets into the area. Philogene Biddis, it's a great save by Nichols, plunging to his left, and Pearson should be the first person to go to his keeper and say thank you very much, because he gave the ball away, and in stepped Jaden Philogene Biddis, the Villalone, stepped around Tom Lees and cracked a shot goalwards from the edge of the area, but Lee Nichols equal to it. Corner Stoke, 1-0 to Huddersfield.
I think he can play Fletcher in there. He's in one-on-one. I mean, obviously he's gone on his own. He wants the goal, but I think Fletcher's in a better position just to slide it in. But great play from Stoke there.
So it's a corner kick in the end to Stoke City, driven in by Branchit to the near post, and it's a scruffy delivery, but Ward put it straight behind for another corner out on that far side where the fantastic media stand reached the Chadwick Lawrence. stand that runs opposite to our main stand that we're sat in. So Vrancic again, left-footed in-swinging delivery. Fletcher's gone near post. Now he's gone far as the ball goes in to the near post, and Ward's there again. Baker, not sure what he was trying to do, trying to volley the ball goalwards perhaps, but got right underneath it, and it went harmlessly out of play from the Huddersfield point of view for a Terriers goal kick. It's 1-0 to Huddersfield here on TalkSport 2.
I think sometimes when you play the way Huddersfield play, you're going to lose the ball occasionally, but there are going to be a lot of rotations there in the middle, and obviously you can't get too annoyed if they give the ball away, because most of the time, especially this first half, it's paid off.
Throw into Stoke, right hand side, looking for Tyrese Campbell to roll his defender. Couldn't quite do that, but Stoke have won themselves another throw. Oh no, they haven't. It's gone Huddersfield's way on that far side. Huddersfield 11 out of a possible 15 points, no defeats in 9. Winning at Nottingham Forest just a few weeks ago, which is no mean feat, George, the way that Forest have been going. Winning at Burnley in the Cup, of course, to get through to round 4. Draws against Blackburn and Swansea before that 7-goal thriller that they won at Reading last time out.
Well, they were really impressive against Burnley, and I think they would have got a lot of confidence beating a Premier League team who they put a strong team out that day as well, Burnley, so they would have got a lot of confidence from that, knowing that they can beat a Premier League team, and they've really shown that the last few weeks in the Championship.
Sorry, I didn't mean to remind you about that.
Yeah,
that Burnley getting knocked out. I barely even brought up Tuesday night in the Championship at St Andrews either. I've been quite kind to you, really, after what Birmingham did to Peterborough.
That's the 6th time you pulled that out.
Is it?
Yeah.
Down the right hand side, Tyrese Campbell lays it off for Wilmot. High looping centre into the box, but it's too close to Lee Nichols, and he can claim comfortably, although Stephen Fletcher was right next to him in case he'd made any sort of mess of that. And Lewis O'Brien again just drops his shoulder to get away from Tyrese Campbell and just brings the ball effortlessly towards the centre circle. Huddersfield in possession with Pearson, who had that heart-in-mouth moment where he just presented the balls straight to Jaden Philogene-Biddus. I wonder whether that would encourage Stoke City to keep a high press on whenever the back three of Huddersfield are in possession, George Boyd.
But they're finding gaps, like this around the corner from Hogg. They're finding players are coming, moving, interchanging positions now, and they'll create the space for the likes of Thomas and Toffolo to running behind. So I think if it gets too tight, they'll just play behind, and then as you see Stoke making mistakes, booting out the player, they're in the final third now.
Jack Bonham on his slightly weaker left foot, in fairness to him, just shanks the ball straight out of play into the fans just beneath us in this main stand. So Huddersfield have a throw. 10 minutes to half time on TalkSport 2. They lead by a goal to 0, Huddersfield, and Ollie Turton just gets nudged in the back by Philogene-Biddus and wins a free kick just in from the near touchline on the Huddersfield right. And once again Sorba Thomas and Daniel Sinani will decide between them who takes this free kick for Huddersfield.
He's given 2 or 3 fouls away there now, hasn't he? Philogene-Biddus. It's just a dangerous area. The last delivery was spot on. They just needed to get a head on it, and I'm sure he's going to put it in the same sort of area now, Sinani.
Well, Sinani's just getting a few instructions from Carlos Corberan, who's just barked something at him. And it will be Sinani again, left foot delivery. Again, it's a lovely swirling cross, and it's flicked behind by Ben Wilmot for a corner kick. Didn't get a call clearly from anybody around him in Stoke Green, because Huddersfield have a corner, 1-0 up.
No, someone's got to call him there. There's no one near him. He's just got to leave the ball, and it's a goal kick. But the goalie's there. He's got a defender behind him, and no one said a word.
I don't know. Did he try to leave it? It looked like he tried to duck underneath in the way, didn't he? Yeah, hit his back. And so it's a corner kick. And it is Sorba Thomas who's gone out to that far side. Meantime, referee wants a word with a couple of players. Corrimer, and I think Tyrese Campbell he wants a word with, or Lewis Baker in actual fact, because there's a clutch of Huddersfield players beyond the far post. The corner kicks out on the far left-hand side. Now they're starting to make their runs across the 6-yard line. In it comes from Thomas, fisted away by Bonham. Cross for Corrimer, brilliant save, Bonham. Got right down at his near post and made a brilliant stop to deny Corrimer trying to get Huddersfield a second goal.
He didn't look totally confident with the ball in the air, but what a fantastic save that is. Obviously a training ground routine, and Here they come again.
Here's Thomas down the left-hand side. He's still got it. Tries to whip it in. Whoa! Churches it round the post, and it's just wide. And a goal kick to Stoke City as TalkSport listeners join us. Huddersfield leads Stoke by a goal to nil on 37 minutes, but it's not been a first half without controversy. Josh Coromer has the goal, a deflected shot, deflected up and over Jack Bonham. But before that, Coromer could arguably have given a straight red card by referee Gavin Ward after a late challenge on Stoke defender Taylor Harwood-Bellis. If VAR had been in operation, then you can be almost certain that Huddersfield would be down to 10. And just after Huddersfield's goal, Tyrese Campbell for Stoke went down in the area. It looked like he'd been cleaned out, but the referee didn't see that as a penalty kick. It's been lively, George Boyd.
Yeah, it's been great. I think Michael O'Neill will be really aggrieved at half-time when he sees the replays of both incidents. It should be nil-nil. The best player on the pitch shouldn't really be on here. And Stoke would be looking at trying to get 3 points, but it's actually the other way around now. Huddersfield are totally dominating and look like scoring every time they go forward.
As Stoke get the ball up to the halfway line, but it bounces away from Mario Vrancic. Huddersfield player caught late, and that'll be a free kick to the Terriers just inside their own half. Remember, you can continue listening to this game on DAB Plus via your smart speaker. Of course, you've got the TalkSport app downloaded for your smartphone, so you can swipe effortlessly between TalkSport and TalkSport 2 to hear this game, or you can use your smart speaker. Whichever way you do not want to do it, you can listen to this game through to its conclusion. Huddersfield starting the night in 6th place in the final playoff spot, can go 5th with a win, and they are in front at the moment. Let's see what happens with this free kick that they've got, which is about 10 yards inside the Stoke City half. Daniel Sinani, who's been taking most of the set pieces, will strike this one downfield. Stoke holding their line about 25 yards out. It's rolled square by Sinani to Sorba Thomas. He hits a diagonal ball right to left into the box, and a foul by Harry Toffolo means Stoke City get a free kick. So we're just over 5 minutes to half time here at the John Smith Stadium. It's Huddersfield Town 1, Stoke City 0. And George Boyd, the former Burnley and Hull midfielders, alongside me tonight. That was not going to be a penalty kick, although there were claims for it from the locals.
I think they've claimed a lot tonight, haven't they? But they've got to be happy. The fans have got to be happy. You can see the feel-good factor has come back to this stadium. And when the team's playing like this, they're going to enjoy themselves. They're going to pay their money to watch a team that is entertaining and giving their all. And it's shown in the league table. I mean, if they go up to 5th tonight, they've got to be pretty solid to make the playoff places their own.
When they won promotion in 2017 under David Wagner, they'd finished 19th the season before. And of course, Huddersfield's last 2 finishes at this level since relegation, 18th and 20th.
I think it takes a while to get the principles of the manager. Obviously, he's been a couple of years now, but it takes a while for the players to adapt to his methods, and I'm sure the training is, if it's anything like Leeds and Bielsa, it's going to be tough, so it does take time to adapt, but you're seeing a team here that really are enjoying their football.
Stoke in possession, 5 to half time, with Huddersfield 1 up, and it's Josh Timon at left back, faced up by Thomas, so he has to roll the ball back to Harwood-Bellis. Square ball along the 18-yard line for Jagielka, and now Wilmot takes the touch and fires it against Coromer, just trying to get after the loose ball, and Wilmot just forced to put the ball out of play. Another example of the high press from Huddersfield Town.
Yes, that pressure, they've got nowhere to go. That's the only way he can do it, is boot it out or boot it up the field, where Fletcher's so isolated. Even if he does win it, he's got no one around him to support.
So a throw in for Harry Toffolo down the Huddersfield left, gets it back from Ward, who's out on that left hand side as well. Coromer tries to wriggle through a bit of space, but Stoke have it back, and here's Lewis Baker, elects to knock the ball back to Harwood-Bellis. Now he leaves it for Jordan Thompson, who's picked it up off the back 4. Jagielka has to turn away from the pressure from Danny Ward. Harwood-Bellis, he's under pressure as well from Sinani. Philogene Biddis with a heavy ball back into his own half. O'Brien tries to get onto the loose pass, but that was great covering from Harwood-Bellis in the end. And now here comes Stoke City with Lewis Baker. Campbell to his right, rolls it into the feet of Tyrese Campbell, right hand corner of the box, steps inside Toffolo, gets a shot away, but it's straight at Lee Nichols, who puts both hands above his head and makes a comfortable claim and keeps it 1-0 to Huddersfield Town.
Yeah, that's a comfortable save. He's done well to come in on his strong left foot, but straight at the goalie. But a good break. Lewis Baker driving at the back 4. It's a nice pass out to Or was it Tyrese
Campbell? Yeah.
Campbell, yeah. Just a bit of a tame shot.
I wonder whether O'Neill might be tempted to switch those inverted wingers and play Campbell on the left and Philogene-Biddis on the right, given their stronger feet.
Yeah, and he's got options on the bench as well. Tom Ince, he could definitely come on and change this game.
Oh, Nick Powell as well, a player you know well, just back from a leg injury. Joe Allen, who, when Stoke were relegated from the Premier League, I think the perceived wisdom was, well, this guy's going to be the best midfielder in the Championship by a country mile.
I mean, I don't think you get signed by Liverpool if you've not got something about you.
The Welsh Zavvi, I think was the phrase, wasn't it? Ball's out of play for a Stoke City throw. We've got just over 2 minutes plus added time to the break here on TalkSport 2. And it's thrown in by Timon for Harwood Bellis. But it is a very strong Stoke bench that Michael O'Neill can dip into. He's having conversations with his coaching staff as we approach the half-time whistle. But if he sees replays of the Campbell penalty shout and the Coroma challenge on Harwood Bellis, the language may be a little fruity. Stoke in possession inside their own half. Harwood Bellis brings the ball down, not really being pressed that high by Sinan. He finds Thompson, tries to burst through the centre circle. It's fired out to the right hand side where Campbell can pick it up. He can have a run at Harry Toffolo here. In fact, he just clips it infield to Baker. Baker lays it off to Ben Wilmot. Wilmot, early ball up to the edge of the area, but Huddersfield win it back. Toffolo finds Coroma, who just clips the ball around Wilmot, who then caught him. Wilmot's going to get more than just a talking to from the referee, I think, here. Gavin Ward's going to issue a yellow card to Ben Wilmot for that challenge on Coroma.
I think that's the last thing he needs, is a yellow card playing against him. That's a lovely bit of skill. He's just flicked over his leg, and it's a definite yellow card. He's pulled him back, but he's on a real tightrope now. With literally another half to go.
And so a free kick to Huddersfield Town in the last minute of normal time at the end of this first half. They've rolled it back to their keeper, Lee Nichols, who has had a couple of things to do. He had to smartly turn over that improvised try from Mario Vrancic, and an important save from Jaden Philogene-Biddis when Huddersfield surrendered possession cheaply inside their own half. Ball's back with Stoke keeper Jack Bonham. First time right-footed clearance high into the West Yorkshire sky. Headed back into the Stoke half, where it's guided back by Jagielka to his keeper once again. Closed down by Ward, but he's still got good distance on his clearance. Fletcher goes up with Pearson, and he won the second ball, Pearson, but it drops for Fletcher. Lovely first touch, brings it down and finds Campbell, and now Lewis Baker chasing after it to the right hand side. A minimum of 2 minutes of added time that we're into now here at the John Smith Stadium on TalkSport 2. Huddersfield 1, Stoke 0. Stephen Fletcher, midway point of the Huddersfield half, sees Timon calling for it on this near side of the left, but he's gone back to square to Thompson. Now Vrancic plays the ball into the feet of Philogene-Biddis. Good first touch, but just couldn't control the second, and Toffolo will just say, well, anywhere will do, and thumps it downfield for a Stoke throw. 1-0 Huddersfield. So it'll be a throw for Stoke City to have inside their own half. They've got time to create something else at the end of this first period, Stoke. As one or two fans around us decide to head off for a pint in the concourses at half-time. Harwood Bellis has possession 20 yards shy of the halfway line for Stoke. Faced up by Ward, plays it to his left and Timon. Now Philogene-Biddis trying to inject some pace, but he's really being tightly marked by Ollie Turton, who's not giving him an inch. It's not a great deal of tempo or urgency about Stoke City at this point, George Boyd.
Especially from the back. The fullbacks that they're literally playing as a back four. The fullbacks maybe have been told just to stay as a back four, but they're not really supporting. It's literally give the ball to the wide men and stay behind the ball, which is not going to get them up the field at all. But it's probably the most comfortable they've been in the whole half. They're going to sustain the possession of the ball, and yeah, it's a bit too late in the first half.
Philogene-Biddis can now have a run maybe at Turton down this near side of the Huddersfield left. He gets level with the edge of the penalty area. Ball in looking for Fletcher. Instantly Pearson to get it half clear. It's picked up by Baker. Vrancic lets the ball run through his legs and clips it left for Timon. Philogene-Biddis again scurrying away from the challenge of Sinani. Good ball in field to Vrancic, centre of the half, spots Wilmot in space, right hand side, first time ball along the deck, turn goalwards by Campbell, but that's a very comfortable save low down at his near post. by the goalkeeper Lee Nichols, and that signals half-time. Here in West Yorkshire, and Huddersfield are looking to consolidate their playoff place with the 3 points that they're halfway towards here. But the story of the first half centres on two refereeing decisions, not just about the goal that Josh Corrimer scored, but a few minutes before he scored, when he went in for a very, very dangerous challenge on Taylor Harwood-Bellis and caught the standing leg of Harwood-Bellis high up on the knee. But referee Gavin Ward did not see that as an offence. He wasn't even booked for that challenge. Michael O'Neill, I can tell you, was waiting at the edge of the tunnel to have a word with the referee, and I bet the referee knows it's coming, because after Josh Corrimer had given Huddersfield the lead with a deflected shot at the edge of the area, Tyrese Campbell had claims for a penalty waved away by the Surrey official when it looked like he'd been cleaned out inside the penalty area. Wasn't to be for Stoke. They've had chances as well. Philogene Biddis, the Villalone, with the best of them, well saved by Lee Nichols, but the Terriers are on top at the break here. It's Huddersfield Town 1, Stoke City 0. Thanks, Dan. So that is the only change that's been made at the break by either manager. Carlos Corbrand staying with the starting 11 that he sent out, whilst Jordan Thompson's been taken off. He was booked in the first half for Stoke number 15, so that might be one of the reasons why he's been withdrawn. But Joe Allen, with all his experience and over 200 appearances for Stoke, is on in his place. We're back underway on TalkSport 2. Huddersfield in their blue and white striped shirts, white shorts and black socks. They're heading for the fantastic media stand underway to our left-hand side in this second half, as we sit in the core stand, the main stand. Straight away, Sorba Thomas trying to get in behind to the right-hand side of the area. He's good speed from Sorba Thomas, and he's laid it off to Daniel Sinani. Left-footed ball into the box, looking for the far post, and it's well claimed by Jack Bonham, the Stoke keeper, under his crossbar. And straight away, Huddersfield on the front foot at the start of the second period, George Boyd.
What great pace there from Thomas. He's such an outlet down that wing, and he's got the ball in behind, cut it back. He's got a great left foot, isn't he, Sinani? He's put some really good quality balls in the first half, and pretty comfortable save for the goalie.
So running through the lineups, Nichols is the Huddersfield goalkeeper. Turton, Pearson and Lee's the three centre-halves. Then Thomas, Hogg, O'Brien and Toffolo across midfield. Sinani and the goal scorer Corrimer in behind Ward at top. For Stoke, Bonham is the keeper. Wilmot, Harwood-Bellis, Jagielka and Time in the back four. It's now Allen, Branchich and Baker in midfield. Campbell, Fletcher and Philogene Biddis, the Villalone, in their front three. So Michael O'Neill looking relatively calm. Whether he actually did, we didn't see from the camera angles we have, whether he actually did have any quiet words with Gavin Moore, the referee.
We'd have liked to.
Face like thunder, whatever that means. And it's a free kick to Stoke in their right back position. Huddersfield, as I mentioned earlier in our build-up, won just 3 out of 24 matches in the second half of last season in the Championship, so most bookies had them as third favourites for relegation this season. But here they are, heading up to 5th as things stand. But Stoke coming forward with Tyrese Campbell. The cross is headed away by Pearson and just lumped downfield by Thomas. It's going to come down with snow on it. He's hit it that high in the air. It's asking Harwood-Bellis to clear the ball infield. He's almost cleared it straight to Danny Ward at the edge of the area. Allen just manages to ease it away from Danny Ward. That was good defending by the smaller man, Joe Allen, against Ward. Did well there. Now, here is Fletcher on halfway, looking for Lewis Baker. Wonder whether Allen's introduction will allow Baker to be more influential further up the field for the Potters, who are now attacking the end where the Stoke fans are, the away contingent in the Magic Rock stand away to our right-hand side. That's where Stoke are attacking in their green shirts and socks with black shorts. Philogene Biddis tries to turn the ball down the right-hand side and past the attentions of the defender Sinani, but it's one back. I don't know whether Huddersfield have changed shape actually. Might be going for almost a back four. Here's Toffolo down the left-hand side, looking to get away from Tyrese Campbell. Plays the ball into the area, looking for Danny Ward, and a vital toe in from Phil Jagielka to keep the ball away from Huddersfield's top scorer. Up to halfway it goes. Philogene Biddis lays it off to Mario Vrancic, just shy of the halfway line for Stoke. Now the ball's turned back infield. Ward's just hobbling away, the Huddersfield striker, having tried to get onto that pass into the area. Looks like he's okay to run it off. And Stoke have possession with Ben Wilmot playing in this somewhat unfamiliar right back position. Tommy Smith is on the bench tonight for Stoke City, former Huddersfield regular, but not risked from the start tonight. Here's Philogene Bidis. He's shown too much of that to Sorba Thomas. Was he fouled there on the far side? Well, the referee's allowed play to continue. Lewis O'Brien, lovely little dink round the corner, but Sinani can't get the better of Harwood Bellis, and it's turned back to the goalkeeper Jack Bonham. I'm getting too excited about watching Lewis O'Brien. He's doing too many nice things.
He's been brilliant, isn't he? It's just lovely to watch. He glides with the ball, and he's always one step ahead of the other midfielders at the minute. Flicks around the corner, he wants the ball all the time, and he got really frustrated there when the ball didn't come back to him.
He was Player of the Year here in the 1920 season. Coming through the system. Shows an awful lot of promise, Lewis O'Brien, in his early 20s. Pulls out a play for a Huddersfield throw down the right hand side. Nichols charges across to go and collect the ball, and it's sent down the right hand side by Turton for a throw. Sinani's come close to try and pick it up. It's about 15 yards inside the Stoke half of the field. Back to Turton once more. Further back it goes to Pearson. Now Lees used to ply his trade a bit further back down the M1 at Sheffield Wednesday, of course. Here's Ward out to this near touchline, and Corrimer, whose goal still separates the sides. Ball clipped down the left hand side, asking Ward to give chase, but that's tidied up by Phil Jagielka. 5 minutes gone of the second half on TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL. Huddersfield Town 1, Stoke City 0. 6 points between the teams at the start of play. Stoke do not want 3 defeats on the bounce in the Championship, particularly with the sheer volume of teams around them. George Boyd picking up points, like Nottingham Forest, for example, who are as good an example as any.
Yeah, you need momentum going into the playoffs, and you look at Stoke all season, 11 wins, 11 defeats. There's just inconsistency. You need to put a run of games together, and that's what the likes of Forest are doing at the minute. 4 wins in a row in all competitions.
Joe Allen thought he was fouled and put his hands on the ball as he fell over, and the referee Gavin said that's a free kick, and Allen just tosses the ball away.
He's losing control of this, the ref, isn't he?
He's not popular with those in green tonight. They're turning green, like the Incredible Hulk, some of the Stoke players. A startling metamorphosis is occurring for some of them. Somehow Michael O'Neill kept his composure at half-time. 1-0 to Huddersfield. Vrancic for Stoke. Back it goes to Harwood Bellis at the edge of his own penalty area. Now Campbell starts to make a run out to him from the right-hand side, but he's not found. Instead it's Wilmot has to give the ball back to Harwood Bellis. Out to the left-hand side. More Stoke subs warming up. DiMaggio Wright Phillips is one of those going through his paces. Grandson of Ian Wright. Scored against Fulham at the Bet365 Stadium. Wonderful moment for him, and he's just had a contract extension for another couple of years or so. DiMaggio Wright Phillips. There's a few Huddersfield subs now out there warming up as well, including Dwayne Holmes, the diminutive American midfielder once of Derby County. Ball clipped down the right-hand side by Wilmot, asking Tyrese Campbell to give chase, and he'll happily give chase. Got plenty of pace, but Toffolo was equal to it. Won it back for Huddersfield in the left-back position. And now Lees rolls it up to the feet of Corrimer inside his own half. Has to go back for Lees. Fizzed the pass back to Lees, but he controlled it well enough. Sinani can't bring the ball out of the sky as it's lobbed forward, and Stoke have it back. It's a bit scrappy at the start of the second half, George Boyd.
Yeah, no one can really get their foot on the ball. It is scrappy. Allen's trying to get on the ball, get Stoke playing, but as I say, everyone keeps giving the ball away.
Here's Lewis O'Brien for the Terriers. Runs into Vrancic. Play on, says the referee. And Lewis O'Brien gets to his feet, and the ball's back with Pearson. Squares it left for Lees. Fletcher just comes across to close him down. Two former Sheffield Wednesday players in direct opposition there. Now Coroner rolls it to the feet of Danny Ward, trying to turn away from Harwood Bellis, but Jagielka there to help out his fellow centre-half again. It's 1-0 to Huddersfield.
I'd like to see Coroner just, he faced up the defender there. He's on a yellow. Why did he get at him? You've got so much space to get at him, Wilmot. He's not going to want to tackle him. I'm surprised he didn't drive at him and trying to commit a foul.
I wonder whether that's what Carlos Corbrand shouting just down beneath us in the general direction of Josh Coroner as Stoke have possession. 9 minutes gone of the second half on TalkSport 2. You're just tuning in for EFL Championship Live. It's 1-0 to Huddersfield. First half goal from Josh Coroner. Stoke City in possession just inside the Huddersfield half, left hand side. Simon rolls it infield for Vrancic, and Vrancic spots Timon making a run down the left hand side, but instead he's looked for Philogene Bidders. Good ball in field for Baker. Baker, it's rolled to the right hand side of the box. In comes Wilmot, chops inside onto his left, gets the shot away. It's blocked inside the box by Lees, and Huddersfield survive and get it away. And here's Coroner looking to get over to halfway, but that's a good challenge back by Lewis Baker, and he's won the throw for Stoke. And suddenly Ben Wilmot looking dangerous coming forward for the Potters.
That was really great play, probably the best passage of play from Stoke for the whole game. Wilmot with a lovely Cruyff inside, and I think it was Tom Lees who stood up well and took the ball in the body, but much better from Stoke.
You wonder whether Gavin Ward might have looked back at those challenges. I wonder whether the referees do actually watch contentious incidents back at a half-time cup of tea when they go back into their changing room.
You'd like to think they've been told at least.
Well, I bet Michael O'Neill told him
that they've made a mistake.
Fletcher looking to send the ball forward for Stoke to find Campbell, but it's pumped away unceremoniously by Pearson. Good nod down by Wilmot, but Baker can't keep the ball in play on this near side. And Carlos Corbrand's urging the players to squeeze the play, and there's a bit of unrest in the stand away to our right hand side. A few of the Stoke fans trying to goad the Huddersfield fans, and Stewards are just moving in to quell any potential disturbance. 10 minutes gone in the second half. 1-0 to Huddersfield. And Stoke think they have a throw, but instead it's a free kick, or a throw actually on this near side, as Vrancic is down hurt, and the physio's been asked to go on to treat the Bosnian, give him some what looks to be a treatment to his right knee, George Boyd.
Yeah, I think it was a kick, hopefully nothing more than that. He does look in a lot of pain though, doesn't he?
So knock of knees together, actually, I think the challenge he had with Toffolo. So play suspended for a moment. The stewards and the police have moved in well to calm things down away to our right in that away end. Gives me a chance to remind you that plenty of football on offer tomorrow. Game day live on TalkSport from 1 o'clock. Adrian Durham hosts from the Unibol Stadium. Bolton against Sunderland is where he'll be tomorrow, along with Mickey Gray. Also, Ray Parler, Scott Minto and Lucy Ward, part of our team, as we go around the grounds on TalkSport. On TalkSport 2, a championship double bill. Dan will be hosting from 3 o'clock. Fulham against Blackpool from Craven Cottage, and then Peterborough Sheffield United at 5:30 from the Western Homes Stadium. Now there's a definite problem for Vrancic here, because they brought on the stretcher. That knock of knees that he had on this near touchline, he's most definitely come off worse, and it looks like Michael O'Neill's going to have to be forced into a second quick change in this second half. 12 gone since the restart. He's trying to sit up, but the stretcher bearers are out in case he needs to be carried off the field rather than walking off under his own. He's actually getting to his feet,
up, yeah.
But he's having to wrap his arms around the shoulders of two Stoke physio staff so he can be helped off the field. It's his right knee that's causing the problem. So
it looks like Nick Powell's coming on. Half an hour for him to get involved.
Well, you know Nick well.
Well, yeah, I've played against him. He's a very good footballer. And I think he's had 2 days training, so I think half an hour is probably the maximum you'd get out of him today, and you don't want to rush him after such a long time out, but the game's made for him now to come on and make a difference.
He had a substitute appearance at Coventry in the defeat last time out, and now he comes on again. Vrancic very slowly being helped down the tunnel. Michael O'Neill will hope that that's not too serious an injury for Mario Vrancic. But that's not a bad replacement in a guy in Nick Powell who's got so much quality. Scored his first Stoke goal against Huddersfield a couple of years ago. Player of the Year last year. But as you mentioned, 6 goals in 10 at the start of the season, George, before he got that injury that saw him ruled out until last time out.
Yeah, I think he's just a huge player for Stoke, and if they can get him back fit and get a good result here, they can really build on the season and push for those playoff places.
Approaching the hour on TalkSport 2, so it's still Huddersfield 1, Stoke 0, and Carlos Corberán calling for reinforcements for the bench. I'm not sure whether Dwayne Holmes is getting the call to come on. Meantime, Stoke in possession just inside the Huddersfield half with Baker. Plays a 1-2 with Wilmot. Looks to send an early ball into the box. Fletcher goes up with a header, drops beyond him, and Billis slipped. If he hadn't slipped, he might have had a chance to pick up the loose ball for Stoke, but as it is, it trundles out of play on the far side for a throw to Huddersfield, who lead 1-0.
He slipped a few times this second half. I don't know if he's got the wrong studs on. 2 or 3 times he's fallen on the floor.
Dwayne Holmes has been sent back out to warm up by Carlos Corberán. It's another player on his haunches down there at a Huddersfield top. Just looking to see who that is. It's I think Jonathan Hogg, yeah. He's just getting back to his feet, hands on hips. Just having a word. Well, the physios have come on to treat him, but he's already stood back up straight. He just needs a drink of water, does he? Gonna have to go off the field for it because the physios have come on. A cross in from the right hand side, just missed everybody, and Billis just slipped at the inappropriate moment for Stoke City. Hogg is going to have to go off to that near side, the far side rather, before he can be allowed back on.
He's been winded. He doesn't look like anything injury-wise.
Yeah, well, just to have the stuffing taken out of him in that build-up to that attack. May well be another change for Stoke coming up, I think. George Boyd. I've got a funny feeling that we could be seeing maybe Jacob Brown to change the front line around a little bit. Meantime, Huddersfield with a throw. They lead by 1-0, Huddersfield, on TalkSport 2 with just over an hour gone at the John Smith's Stadium here in West Yorkshire. Ian Dancer and George Boyd with you. Here is Nick Powell trying to show his strength in the centre of the Huddersfield half. Rolls it up to Baker. Now Campbell guides it down to Timon, left-hand side. Whips a lovely ball in, headed out by Pearson to the edge of the area, helped further clear by Hogg. Stoke trying to win the ball back. Where's that going to drop? Left-hand side of the box, and Campbell can't get hold of it. And Huddersfield, well, now they're starting to panic as they try and clear their lines. Stoke having a bit of a spell here, George Boyd.
This is much better from Stoke. They're doing exactly what Huddersfield did to them in the first half. They're winning the ball back in the final third and causing lots of problems. This is much better.
A little shove by Campbell on Matty Pearson gives Huddersfield a free kick, and it is indeed Jacob Brown who's going to come on for Stoke City to wonder whether that's to come on for Philogene Pidis, the young loanee getting his first start tonight, or whether Campbell or Fletcher are in the sights of Michael O'Neill to be withdrawn. Meantime, Huddersfield have a free kick. They won't make the change just yet, Stoke. They'll wait till the ball next goes out of play. It will be Lee Nichols just to the right hand side of his own 18-yard box, drives the ball right-footed down that Huddersfield right. Up goes Ward, gets a good flick on, looking for Thomas to get onto it, but it's headed away by Jagielka. Philogene Pidis goes up with Hogg on halfway, ball's out of play, and that should allow the Stoke change to be made. Here it comes, and it is Stephen Fletcher who's being withdrawn back in the side tonight. So Jacob Brown for Fletcher. What do you think that means for the Stoke front line, George Boyd?
It makes sense. I mean, Fletcher's not trained much. He's come back from an injury, and you're bringing on a Scottish international here, which I think he'll go through the middle. He scored 6 goals this season already, so he's definitely a threat. He's going straight through the middle and keeping the wingers either side of him.
Yeah, made his Scotland debut in November against Moldova. Jacob Brown, winner number 18, on for Stephen Fletcher. TalkSport 2 in the EFL. Campbell thought he kept the ball in play right in front of his manager on this near touchline, but it was out, according to the assistant. Toffolo will have a throw for Huddersfield Town. 63 minutes gone. Huddersfield 1, Stoke City 0. Huddersfield are going to go 10 without defeat as things stand. At a really important point in the season, and everybody is jostling for position. Lewis O'Brien teases the ball out to this near side of the left-hand corridor. Up against Wilmot, tries to go on the outside of him, tries to drive the cross in, but it was straight at Wilmot. Got stuck under his feet, but he managed to get it clear, the Stoke right back. O'Brien, one trick too many there, and gave it away. Joe Allen picks up possession for Stoke. Now Tyrese Campbell lays it off to Wilmot on the halfway line. So that's it. George Boyd, he shuffled the pack, Michael O'Neill. That's all 3 changes made.
Yep, he's put all his cards on the table. 3 good subs. I mean, it's the fact you still got Inter Klukas who can't even get on, shows you the squad depth.
Now Powell going up to try and put pressure on the Huddersfield back line. It's cleared away by Pearson. Joe Allen manages to get his head on it, even though he's one of the smallest men on the field. Teased out to this near side looking for Campbell. In steps Harry Toffolo and just half volleys it downfield. 2 bounces and it's through to Jack Bonham, the Stoke keeper. 25 minutes to go. Huddersfield still leading Stoke by a goal to 0. Stoke trying to come forward. Brown trying to get involved for the first time down the far side of the field. He's being marshalled by Pearson, but he finds Philogene Billis. Infield it goes to Nick Powell. Powell just strokes it back to square to Allen. Allen gives it back to Nick Powell, inside left position, midway point of the half, tries to roll it up to Brown at the edge of the area. Good slide in from Pearson, but again Stoke get the second ball and they're trying to hem Huddersfield in here. Powell again, under pressure this time from Sorba Thomas, plays a lovely ball into the feet of Lewis Baker. He lays it off for Wilmot. First time ball down the right hand side for Tyrese Campbell. Comes in on his favoured left foot. Squares the ball across to Josh Tyman. Now Philogene Billis inside left channel, being faced up by Ollie Turton. Now Jacob Brown with his back to goal. Gives it back to Wilmot on the right hand side. Tries to measure a cross in. Good ball into the near post and it's out of play for a... Is that a corner kick? It is. It's been given by the assistant. As Stoke continue to start a bit of pressure here on the Huddersfield backline, but Huddersfield still lead 1-0.
Yeah, they're building a lot of momentum now. He's got to be happy, O'Neill. They've really started the second half well, and I mean, you've got to look at Nick Powell. He needs to calm down a bit on the ball. He gets a bit nervous, doesn't he? But he's really dictating the game at the minute. With Joe Allen in there as well, and it's given the strikers and the wingers opportunities to get forward.
Baker with the corner for Stoke City, deep to the far post. At least 4 players have gone down in a heap, and the referee sees nothing wrong with any of it, and the ball's just gone out of play for a Huddersfield throw in their right back position. More reinforcements being called for from the bench, I think, or more players being sent to warm up by Carlos Corberan. But Huddersfield yet to make a change. They lead by a goal to 0 with a quarter of the game to go. Throw in for Turton up to the halfway line, but Stoke will win it back. And it's on halfway with Phil Jagielka. To his right is Wilmot. It's a ball returned to him by Tyrese Campbell. And Tyrese Campbell's having the riot act read to him by Michael O'Neill for just giving the ball back to his fullback, rather, I assume, George, more than taking on his fullback.
Yeah, he wants your wingers to get out. He's not attacking the fullback 1v1. Corrimer, on the other hand, is attacking his fullback every time he gets there. I think Michael O'Neill just wants that from his winger.
Huddersfield aren't going to make their first change. Given away though. Here's Lewis Baker for Stoke. 25 yards out. The drive is deflected and actually makes it slightly easier for Lee Nichols, who's hurt himself in claiming the ball. Not sure whether he just moved awkwardly, but the ball given away by Pearson again. Powell threaded it right to Jacob Brown, who took a shot, and I'm not sure what Lee Nichols has done there.
I don't know if he's pulled a muscle.
Pulled a muscle in his right thigh or his right calf. just as he skipped across to collect the ball, which he did quite straightforwardly, but he's caused himself a mischief, the Huddersfield keeper.
I think he might have pulled his hamstring here.
Well, he's getting treatment on his right foot, right ankle maybe. That's where the physio is concentrating his work at the moment. As Dwayne Holmes gets ready to come on for Huddersfield Town, it's going to be a double change actually, I think. For Huddersfield, is it? No, it's just going to be a single change at the moment. But Holmes is just putting the bib on for the moment. Nichols looks like he's going to be okay. He's had treatment.
He's made a miraculous recovery.
Well, he might have felt a little twinge. I mean, it'd be an odd place just to go down at that point. Must have felt a twinge from something. And Gavin Ward, the referee, gives him the ball back. And he just bowls the ball out to Tom Lees. And he rolls it up to Coromer, who makes an absolute Horlicks of that, trying to turn the ball around the corner, and Stoke have a throw. Just over 20 minutes to go. You're listening to Huddersfield 1, Stoke City 0 in the EFL Championship, live on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more. Here's Nick Powell playing the ball to Jacob Brown at the edge of the area, takes the touch, can't get away from the attentions of Tom Lees, and Huddersfield smuggle the ball clear. Just for a moment there, George Boyd, you thought Jacob Brown was in position to get a shot away.
Yeah, it got his body in behind Leeds, so he was trying to get the shot off, but Leeds did well to cover back round. But it was a great ball from Nick Powell in behind, and you can see how agitated Corberan is on the side. He wants to make changes now. He's not happy with what he's seeing.
Jacob Brown trying to win a header now just inside the Huddersfield half, but the Terriers have it back and they've given it away. Sinani is dispossessed. Philogene Bidis, good skill from the youngster, gets away down the left hand side, cross into Brown at the near post, who can't connect, headed away by Lees, but straight back out to Philogene Bidis. Now Nick Powell, left hand corner of the box, it's deflected off the back of Hogg and goes behind for a Stoke corner away to our right. 1-0 Huddersfield. So Philogene Bidis and Nick Powell will sort out the corner kick. Actually, it's Baker that's gone across to take it over on that far side. Be a right-footed in-swinging corner. Tyrese Campbell inside the 6-yard box. In it comes from Baker. Ward missed a header at the near post. It comes out to Joe Allen, 30 yards out for Stoke. Has to roll it back to the centre of the Huddersfield half. And it's clipped out neatly by Timon out to the right wing. Tyrese Campbell now cutting in field, gets a shot away, it's deflected, and another comfortable save for Lee Nichols. It was on target but straight at him. 1-0 Huddersfield.
Yeah, they worked it well. Allen was really calm on the ball, played it back to Wilmot. It was a good ball to Tyrese Campbell, and he's just trying to get that half a yard again to get his shot off, but well blocked. But Huddersfield just can't get started in this second half. It's 20 minutes left, the manager's not happy. I think 2 changes coming up here, Jordan Rhodes and Holmes.
Yep, that's definitely, he's getting some final instructions. Jordan Rhodes moves on. Dwayne Holmes is going to come on for Josh Coromer, who's at the centre of it all tonight, or at least he was in the first half. A bit quieter since the restart, but Josh Coromer gets a warm round of applause from, well, 3/4 of the John Smith Stadium.
Number 19, Dwayne Holmes.
So Holmes on for Coromer. I think that's a fairly sensible change to make in some respects, George Boyd.
Yeah, he does look a bit fatigued last 10-15 minutes, but Holmes has got that pace. He can still get at Wilmot, who's on a yellow card, and Danny Ward's coming up as well. Jordan Rhodes obviously great at this level. Can he just take a bit of pressure off Huddersfield and get him back in the game?
Jordan Rhodes back at Huddersfield, scored 87 goals in his first spell, which ended a decade ago. Left for Blackburn Rovers. And another former Sheffield Wednesday player out there now for Huddersfield Town. So 18 minutes to go. You're with TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL Championship Live. Ian Dancer and George Boyd, the former Peterborough and Burnley midfielder, with you this Friday night in West Yorkshire. Huddersfield hanging on to this 1-goal lead given to them midway through the first half by Josh Coromer. And Danny Ward, after his first hat-trick in an age, draws a blank tonight, and just having a word with some of the coaching staff as he sits down, looking a little frustrated, I might say.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of service tonight. He made 2 great runs in the first half, a header and a block, but not really any clear-cut chances tonight for him.
But while Stoke haven't really been in this game, it is still only 1-0 to Huddersfield, and they have been a bit better in terms of getting down the field. Stoke, a bit more territorial advantage in the second half than they did in the first. They've run the changes, remember, they made all 3 switches. Brown is on, so too is Powell. Branchich had to go off, and they brought on Joe Allen at the break. So what have Stoke got left in these last 17 minutes to try and avoid a 3rd straight championship defeat? Whilst Huddersfield, aiming to go 10 unbeaten, are going 5th in the table as things stand, above West Bromwich Albion, who have today signed Andy Carroll, making it absolutely clear as anything that there's no way that Valérien Ismaël's going to change his way of playing without Daryl Dike in his squad. He can play against Millwall tomorrow, can Andy Carroll. Now, right-hand side for Huddersfield is Sorba Thomas. Oh, great skill. Puts it across the face of goal, heading towards goal and up and over by Dwayne Holmes just on. Great skill by Sorba Thomas and great pace. The cross was deflected up in the air by a Stoke boot, and the diminutive American Dwayne Holmes tried to get something on it, but just looped his header harmlessly over the crossbar. Goal kick, 1-0 Huddersfield. Yeah,
this is Thomas at his best. 1v1, great bit of skill. He's smashed the ball across the 6-yard box. I think it came a bit too quickly for Holmes just to adjust his body, and he's just headed it over.
Quarter of an hour to go. Huddersfield leads Stoke by a goal to 0. Powell on the halfway line, does a beautiful pass out to this near side, and Wilmot steaming forward, steps inside Toffolo, goes for goal with the outside of his right boot, half cleared, and comes out to Baker. Baker lobs it back into square for Allen, who has to send the ball back to the halfway line. Good turn from Baker, just rolling O'Brien, and then steps inside Hogg. Good skill from Lewis Baker, striding towards the edge of the area, chips the ball to the far post. It's beyond everyone in Stoke Green and behind for a goal kick to Huddersfield Town. But the nerves are jangling a bit for the Terriers at the back.
Yeah, but that's the quality. 40-50 yard crossfield pass from Nick Powers, literally 6 yards off the floor. What a fantastic ball. And Stoke are growing into this game. Every 5-10 minutes they're getting stronger and stronger, and they look the most likely to score at the minute.
So a goal kick for Huddersfield, and they've got the 2 centre-halves inside the 18-yard box with Lee Nichols. He's clearly not confident striking the ball downfield after that little injury worry he had, the Huddersfield keeper, 10 minutes or so ago. O'Brien works the ball infield from the left-hand touchline on halfway. Howard Bellis and Jagielka keep the ball away from Jordan Rose just, and the ball's back with Howard Bellis just ahead of his own 18-yard line. 14 minutes to go. 1-0 to the Terriers. Here is Joe Allen looking for Timon, rolls a lovely ball forward to Powell, held up by Pearson, works it up left to Philogene Bettis. Back it goes into the Stoke half. They're being patient now, and Huddersfield just trying to keep a tight, compact system to stop Stoke playing through them. But that crossfield pass from Powell must have taken out about 5 or 6 Huddersfield players with one pass alone there, George.
Yeah, it was beautiful, but especially the second half, the fullbacks for Stoke are playing much higher, especially Wilmot on this right-hand side. He's playing so much more closer to Campbell, and you can see he's got in 2 or 3 times into the area. He's dribbled in, got shots away, so that's a big difference from Stoke. They're actually having a proper go in this second half.
But they still trail by a goal to 0. And there will be a final change coming up for Huddersfield in just a moment. We're going to be making a change and bringing on Scott High next time there's a break in play. Meantime, ball's out on the Stoke left, and it's worked infield to Jacob Brown. Powell, centre of the Huddersfield half, looks to play it out to the left-hand side. It comes back for Powell once more, gets his head up, looks for options. There's 3 or 4 Stoke shirts prowling around the edge of the Huddersfield penalty area. Goes out left to Philogene Bettis, rolls it in neatly to Allen in space at the edge of the area. Can he drive it across the face of goal? He tried. It's only half cleared. Philogene Bettis off the post, comes out to Campbell, blocked on his way to goal. Still Stoke have it. Oh, what a strike! What a strike from Jacob Brown to level it up for Stoke City. Magnificent hit. Philogene Biddis had only just hit the post. It came out to Jacob Brown at the edge of the area, and he crashed it home from 20 yards to bring the Potters level. 12 to go on TalkSport 2. Huddersfield 1, Stoke 1. It's been coming.
What a goal. I mean, Philogene Biddis has struck it so sweetly, hit the post, but what a finish from Jacob Brown for his 7th goal of the season. It's been fully deserved. It's been coming the last 5-10 minutes. They're growing in confidence, and the substitutions, you've got to admit, have been brilliant from Mike O'Neill. They've really changed the game.
So, Scott High, the youngster, just 20 years of age, he's going to come on for Daniel Sinani for a midfield switch. Scott High, just 20 years of age, made 19 appearances in the Championship this season, in a breakthrough year for him. And he comes on at a point where it's now dead level. 11 minutes to go. Anybody's game here, George Boyd.
Well, you'd like to fancy Stoke, the way they're playing. They're a minute to go on and win this game. Huddersfield have been so far off it. Completely different from the team in the first half. And I'd say Stoke are favourites to go on and win this at the minute.
Now Wilmot smacks the ball over halfway. What a hit from Jacob Brown. He's now the leading scorer with 7 in all competitions this season. And the Stoke fans away to our right hand side again moved across to that divide between them and the Huddersfield fans when the goal went in, making a lot of noise away to our right. The Stoke come forward again with Wilmot clipping the ball into the area. It's half cleared by Pearson. O'Brien was almost dispossessed by Wilmot, and a hurried clearance from Holmes goes downfield, and they've certainly got the wind in their sails now, Stoke City, at 1-1.
Yeah, it was just such a difference. Why they not play this for the whole game? They're pressing, they're harrying, they're winning balls. Wilmot's been brilliant second half, and they look a completely different team.
By the way, Nichols and Campbell both got booked in the aftermath of that Brown goal, because Nichols tried to hold on to the ball after it had gone into his net. Campbell tried to wrench it from him, so they both got a yellow from our referee tonight, Gavin Ward. 1-1 on TalkSport 2 in 10 minutes to go. Awkward clearance for Stoke from Wilmot, but then given away by Thomas to Philogene Biddis, who hit the post seconds before Stoke got themselves level. Lewis Baker just got caught there, didn't he, by Holmes as he was trying to roll the ball back to the fullback.
He's been really good second half, Baker. He's been on the ball so much more, and looks like he's enjoyed himself in there with Allen and Powell. Maybe players on the same wavelength.
Carlos Corberán comes out from his dugout and gesticulates wildly to his players to find a second wind, because Stoke City really have got back into this game, and Baker found by a lovely ball and floats the ball out right to Tyrese Campbell up against Toffolo into the area, lays it back for Baker, who's trying to clip it first time into the box, lands on the 6-yard line, headed away by Pearson. It's awkward. Can Stoke bring it down to the edge of the box? They can. It's with Campbell. Wilmot's calling for it. Campbell instead clips it out to the left hand side. Powell keeps it alive for Stoke, sends the ball goalwards, and it's claimed by Nichols inside his 6-yard box. But it is all Stoke City at the moment here at 1-1.
It is. They're really enjoying themselves out there, and Huddersfield just can't get out. They can't do what Stoke did first half, get 2 or 3 passes together. Look, they're giving the ball away again, and
Toffolo with an inspired looking cross from the left hand side.
He's got cramp.
Picked off by Huddersfield. Brown got caught there by Lewis O'Brien, but the referee waste play on as Nick Powell releases Philogene Biddis out on the left hand side. Brown has stayed on the deck, but here's Philogene Biddis into the area, just checks past the midfielder and tries to play it across for Campbell, and it just evades Tyrese Campbell, and it will go out of play on the near side, and maybe now Jacob Brown can get some treatment. There's going to be a yellow card here, I think, from Gavin Ward. Yellow card for Lewis O'Brien for that challenge on Jacob Brown, who now is getting treatment. 1-1.
That's fantastic play from Philogene Biddis. He's twisted and turning and chopped the fullback both ways and put a delightful cross across the 6-yard box. There's just no one there to tap it in, but yet more pressure from Stoke.
Well, although Jacob Brown is getting treatment, I'm not sure that Michael O'Neill would want this break in play, because it's all been about Stoke City since just before the equaliser, really. So it's Levels You Devils on TalkSport 2 with 7 minutes of normal time to go, but there'll be a fair chunk to add on here because we had a good couple of minutes where Mario Vrancic was on the deck. Jacob Brown similarly needing treatment. Remember, all 3 substitutions have been made by Michael O'Neill, so he'll be hoping that Jacob Brown is fit to continue. He's now sitting up. Can I remind you that our cricket exclusive coverage returns to TalkSport 2 tomorrow, 7 o'clock in the evening, after our coverage of Peterborough against Sheffield United. Will be straight for the 4th T20 international between West Indies and England. It's 2-1 to the West Indies in the best of 5 series, and our commentary team of Barry Wilkinson, Steve Harminson, Gareth Batty and Andrew McKenna will be with you. Ball by ball exclusive commentary of that 4th ODI. And the 5th ODI, and what we hope will be a decider, is on Sunday night as well on TalkSport 2 at a similar time. Jacob Brown is back on, and we've restarted with 6 minutes to go, and he thankfully looks to be none the worse for wear. And closing down Lee Nichols as he slips inside the area. Nichols will clear for Huddersfield, but it goes way over the head of Sorba Thomas and Josh Tyman, and out for a Stoke City throw.
I mean, who would have called this over the first half?
No, this is the whip hand is with Stoke City, but can they make it count? Will they want more than a point the way they're going about their business here, the way they're playing. They've got their tails up. They want the win here, don't they, George?
Yeah, this will be a huge win and could transform their season. Get a win here against one of the rivals for a playoff berth. It could really kickstart their season.
Remember, they started the night 6 points behind Huddersfield, so they want to, if they can, at least maintain that gap, not make it any worse. But if they can get back within 3 points, huge night for the Potters. Huddersfield managing to keep possession on the halfway line. Turton moving down the right. You can hear the home fans just trying to urge their team to find their second win, because Stoke have certainly found theirs. 5 minutes to go, 1-1 on TalkSport 2. Here's Lees looking to float the ball down the right-hand side for Sorba Thomas, but ball skips away from him. A very quiet second half for the Welshman. Throw to Stoke, 1-1.
You can see the crowd getting a bit anxious as well now that the Stoke fans are really behind their team, but Huddersfield fans are really getting anxious now. They can see what's happening.
As mentioned, they've only lost 3 of their 13 games here at the John Smiths, Huddersfield Town. It's been a good place for them this season. Ball floated down the right-hand side looking for Thomas, but Stoke get it clear. Harwood Bellis was there first. Flicked on by Jacob Brown, but it won't reach halfway. The blue and white striped shirts have it back. But now Toffolo under pressure to go back to his keeper. Nichols controls it. Heavy first touch, and Jacob Brown was closing him down. He got it clear, Nichols, in the end. But Rhodes heads it straight out of play, and that's a Stoke City throw. And the nerves still jangle around us here at the John Smith Stadium.
I think that comes from the manager. He's waving his hand around, he's up and down the touchline. It translates to the fans.
4 minutes to go, 1-1. Stoke have won a throw out on the far side just over the halfway line. Michael O'Neill, a much calmer figure than his opposite number down beneath us at the edge of the technical areas. Be a throw in for Josh Tyman. Looking for an option. Philogene Biddis is showing down that left-hand touchline. Powell's there too. Allen's now come short. Now Powell moves a bit closer to him. Referee tells him to get on with it, and Philogene Biddis wins the throw, and he's forced back towards the halfway line, and he's caught by Sorba Thomas. Free kick Stoke. 1-1. Quickly taken. Jagielka fires it out to Ben Wilmot. Clips the ball forward, and Jacob Brown tries to take the ball in his stride, but it was awkward, and it just came off the back heel and through to Nichols. Now Lees plays the ball into central midfield, and Hogg sent the ball back to his keeper when he had Nick Powell breathing down his neck. And Stoke now trying the high press, but Huddersfield have it back. 3 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. 1-1 given away by Huddersfield on halfway. Here comes Stoke City wanting the victory, wanting the 3 points. Tyrese Campbell plays the ball in field for Baker. Baker being watched by O'Brien, rolls it into Powell. Powell tried to turn it around the corner, only half clear. Comes out to Tyman, rolls it down the left-hand side of the box, thinking that Brown was going to make the run, but it's won instead by Nichols. How much do Huddersfield want the win? They've got just over 2 minutes to do something about it from their point of view, but they haven't looked a threat in this second half the way they did in the first. The goal kick downfield from Nichols. Finds its way through to Dwayne Holmes. Holmes turns away from Powell but runs into Baker. Baker though can't get hold of the second ball, but Stoke have won it back again. You can hear the groans around us, George Boy.
Yeah, there's a lot of anxiety in the stadium at the minute, and they can see how well Stoke have done this second half, and when you don't keep the ball it just invites the pressure. It's a great ball.
Run from Timon down the left hand side. He managed to whip the ball across and then he barged into Ollie Turton and gives away a free kick. There's a red smoke bomb that's been let off by the Stoke fans away to that's drifting into the night sky as Huddersfield come forward with 90 seconds of normal time to go on TalkSport 2 at 1-1. Here's Holmes approaching the left hand corner of the box. Toffolo on the overlap. Holmes goes inside but can't get past Allen. Picked up by Lewis O'Brien. O'Brien quite central, clips it out to Turton on the right hand side. Now Sorba Thomas in the right wing. Early ball into the box looking for Jordan Rhodes. It's headed out by Jagielka. And offside flag, was it, or a foul? Means that Stoke have a free kick inside their own penalty area, inside the last minute of normal time. It'd be very interesting to see how much Gavin Ward adds on for the several stoppages we've had in this second period. Balls with Taylor Harwood-Bellis carrying the ball up to halfway. We've been caught by Jordan Rhodes in the centre circle. Free kick on halfway to Stoke City. It's taken quickly by Allen to give to Powell. 30 seconds of normal time to go. 1-1. Powell, diagonal ball looking for Tyrese Campbell, but it's headed clear by Toffolo up towards the centre circle where Rhodes turns away neatly from Joe Allen, tries to hold the ball up. And he does hold the ball up well. Finds Jonathan Hogg. Hogg will just lay it off to Turton in the right back position. Back to find out how much added time there'll be here in West Yorkshire. Not many people heading for the exits that I can see. One or two, but certainly not that many. 7 minutes is what we're into now. 7 minutes of added time on TalkSport 2, and most of that will come from the stoppages where both Vrancic and Brown needed treatment. Can Stoke take advantage, or can Huddersfield get their noses back in front? It's Turton on the right-hand side for the Terriers, just inside the Stoke half. It's worked in field for Holmes. Holmes, lovely drag back, buys himself some space, 30 yards out, goes for goal, but it's well wide, and a goal kick to Stoke City away to our left, 1-1.
Well, he opened up nicely for him, didn't he? But it's miles wide in the end.
Yeah, it didn't trouble Jack Bonham at all. And it'll be a goal kick instead to Stoke City. Yeah, Carlos Corberán's a real jack in the box, isn't he? Doing the John Travolta, he's doing the turkey trot, he's doing every dance known to man.
He's run 12k on the side there.
Well, he looks a very slim and fit man.
That's why.
Doesn't need to do any running, just 90 minutes on the touchline is enough. I feel tired just watching him. Powell for Stoke at 1-1. We're into the second minute of 7 that have been added on here at the John Smith Stadium. Good touch from Josh Timon, bring the ball in field, fires it downfield, but too strongly for either Brown or Campbell, and it's bowled out overarm from Nichols to find Sorba Thomas on halfway, but he had to check inside and then work the ball in field for Hogg. Hogg let the ball trickle over his boot, and it almost allowed Nick Powell to win it back for Stoke. But here's O'Brien for Huddersfield Town. Goes again down the right hand side, turns in field. Rhodes has gone out to the left hand side, but now it's gone out to Dwayne Holmes on this near side. Holmes lays it back to Toffolo, edge of the area. Holmes again works it back for Lewis O'Brien, 30 yards out. Now back out to the Huddersfield left and Toffolo. First time ball into the box. It's half cleared by Jagielka. Out to the right hand side of the box. Sorba Thomas puts it back into the area. Allen heads it straight to Toffolo. Toffolo for Huddersfield. Finds a player at the edge of the area. Scott High with a right footed effort. He can't get the purchase on the shot, and Bonham can claim under his crossbar. 1-1.
Yeah, it's a lovely shot. He's just tried to place it there in the top corner. Just needed a bit more pace on the ball. Allen with a soft header outside. It's come to him, edge of the area. Comfortable save in the end.
Jagielka, long ball downfield for Stoke, looking for the flick on from Powell, but that will just trickle through to Lee Nichols, and Carlos Corberán telling him get it downfield, and now Lewis O'Brien scampering towards the halfway line, looking to release High down the left hand side, and he's forced Jagielka to put it out for a throw. We're into the third minute of 7 being added on here on TalkSport 2. 1-1 at the John Smith between Huddersfield and Stoke. Huddersfield in possession with Holmes. Now Hogg finds O'Brien. midway point of the Stoke half, on the near side, the left. Thought about a cross, but then flicks it down the left channel for Harry Toffolo. Toffolo gives it back to O'Brien. Now works it infield to Jonathan Hogg. Hogg spots the run of Holmes into the area, left-hand side. He lays it off to Toffolo. Toffolo tries to cross it, blocked behind by Joe Allen for a late Huddersfield corner.
Stoke look really tired now. The wingers especially are walking. They look they look knackered. Huddersfield's fitness is really shown now at last 5 minutes.
Well, they want to get the ball back to take the corner, and the Huddersfield mascot has gone to retrieve it from the empty bottom tier of the fantastic media stand. And Sorba Thomas is going to take the corner where the main stand that we're sat in meets the fantastic media stand end. Away to our left-hand side. Right-footed in swinger to come then from the Welshman. And again, those Huddersfield players all beyond the far post. Now starting to make runs across the 6-yard line as Thomas delivers. It's headed away by Jacob Brown. Comes out to O'Brien at the edge of the area. Might drop inside the box for a blue and white shirt. It's sent back to the edge of the box, but cleared away by Timon, and suddenly it's 2-on-2. Nick Powell just shy of the halfway line. Fires it downfield to Jacob Brown. Brown, he had 2 to aim at infield. He tried to play it with the outside of his boot to Philogene Biddis, and there were blue and white shirts back to win it. 1-1.
He was too slow there when he didn't see the two players overlapping him. That was a great chance. Just needed to get his head up. But here he comes again. Jacob Brown,
he's barged into by Dwayne Holmes. That's a free kick for Stoke. At 15 yards inside the Huddersfield half of the field. 4.5 minutes of 7 that have been added on have gone here. 1-1 on TalkSport 2. A share of the spoils at the moment. But Stoke now have a free kick to send towards the edge of the Huddersfield box. And it will be Lewis Baker to strike it. And again, Huddersfield holding it quite a high line, about 25 yards out, not defending as deep as their own 18-yard line. And lots of Stoke players out on the far left-hand side. Baker raises his right arm. It's drilled in. Campbell tries to flick it on. Handball by a Stoke player, but play on, says the referee. As Thomas comes clear, and he's caught by Joe Allen. And the ball goes out of play.
He's not giving it.
He's not giving it. He's just given a Stoke City throw. Everybody around us here said, yep, free kick. But no, Gavin Ward. He's not making any close friends here in West Yorkshire tonight.
That's incredible. He deliberately took him out there just to stop the attack, and no, ref didn't see him.
So we're heading towards the last minute of added time. 1-1 on TalkSport 2. Timon for Stoke City. Plays the ball up to the halfway line, and Powell, he lays it off for Philogene Biddis. Good ball back in field for Powell, trying to drift in between challenges. Still going Nick Powell, so about 30 yards out. Finally a toe in comes in, breaks for Jacob Brown at the edge of the area, gets a second shot away, and it's deflected and come to be saved by Nichols, who's being told by his manager to get rid of it and get it downfield. Bowls it out underarm to his left back Toffolo. Dealing in seconds now on TalkSport 2. Long ball downfield, it's headed clear by Stoke, and Brown has it back. One last chance maybe for Stoke to create something. Back with Phil Jagielka, midway point of his own half. Left for Harwood Bellis, and further out left for Josh Timon, who finds Philogene Biddis on halfway. He gets his head up, but Stoke just keeping the ball inside their own half now. Jagielka brings it forward. Now he hits the long balls down the centre of the field looking for Campbell. Headed away by Lees. Guided down by Hogg for Huddersfield. Here's Toffolo for the home side. Playing a long ball downfield looking for Rhodes. But the header clear. Breaks for Jacob Brown. One last chance is it. The referee elects to blow the full-time whistle. And it's honours even in the end in the race for a place in the playoffs. Huddersfield stay in the top 6. But that result for Stoke City ends their sequence of back-to-back defeats and gives them a point in West Yorkshire. But a fascinating game all the same. Huddersfield took the lead through Josh Coroner's goal on 27 minutes, a deflected effort after he could have easily received his marching orders for a high, shocking challenge on Taylor Harwood Bellis. Stoke had their chances, penalty claims waved away in the first half by Gavin Ward, but they got themselves level. Stoke 12 minutes from time when Jacob Brown crashed in an unstoppable effort from the edge of the area, only seconds after his teammate JB Philogene Biddis had struck the post from just inside the area. But both sides will have to settle for a point Huddersfield 6th, but Forest can now go above them if they win their game in hand. Stoke are in 10th place, still 6 points behind their host tonight. Full time here in West Yorkshire, it finished Huddersfield Town 1, Stoke City 1.